Okay, welcome everyone. We are back at it again, and we are about to react to De La Soul. Stakes is high. Um, Shout out to De La Soul, such a important group for hip hop. Um, they are part of the foundation of hip hop. And I discovered them pretty recently. Like, I'm not a hip hop historian. I don't know everything about hip hop. I'm just now and recently digging into more old school hip hop, um, and just finding all these classics. So I'm going to listen to De La Soul's albums because I haven't listened to their albums in full as well. I've just listened to maybe 10, maybe around 10 of their songs or so. But instantly, when I heard this song, this was the first track that I heard from them, and it was just, I just loved it from the get go, like just straight away. So really dope group, native tongues, just what they provide to hip hop, positivity, love, truth, talking about real world things that are occurring, talking about their communities, uplifting their communities. Um, they just represent hip hop to the fullest. So we got to give them their flowers. Rest in peace to Dave, one of the members that passed away, who was rapping in this track as well. They are just so themselves, unapologetically themselves, and just so different and unique in their own way, and not afraid to be themselves. So that's what hip hop is about. So we're about to get into it right now. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, guys, if you haven't as well. But let's get into it. I already know with this track that I'm gonna miss quite a lot of shit. I'm not gonna catch everything. I'm not trying to catch everything. It's more so an appreciation of their music, and I'll still break things down as much as I can. But I just know because I haven't listened to a lot of their music, and there's things that I don't know. So, but let's get into it. Nonetheless, let's get into it. De La Soul, let's go. Produced by Jay Dilla as well. Jay Dilla just produces like some of the best beats. Like this is one of them.
You know them stakes is high. The instamatic focal point bringing damage to your burrow. Be some brother.
Already, see the instamatic focal point bringing damage to your borough. Oh my god. So like the New York boroughs, however you say it, the neighborhoods. But the instamatic focal point bringing damage to your boroughs. So the instamatic camera like was a type of Kodak camera, focal point camera. So the instamatic focal point bringing damage to your boroughs. He's speaking about how there is a lot of damage and violence and corruption and poverty in the neighborhoods that they're from, and the media and the industry like to only focus on the negativity and act like that's all black people are about in these environments, uh, and focusing on only that. Whereas De La Soul, they report on everything that goes on and try to bring a positive message. Uh, and I think around this time, the industry was really focusing on, or well, the industry didn't care. The industry started to get watered down. A lot of gangster rap started flooding the market, and they looked at gangster rap as something that can be marketed, and a lot of people just started adopting gangster rap into their lyrics, and all of a sudden became gangster rappers just to sell an image and to sell records, because the industry realized that violence excites the youth. Violence gets clicks, gets views because it's negative and it's very in your face. And so they realized that negativity sells. And so De La Soul, the title of the track is The Stakes is High. The stakes are high because true hip hop is getting watered down by the industry. And that's why they came with this album, is to give this message at such a crucial time when violence is at a all-time high in their neighborhoods. Drugs, drugs were at an all-time high, especially the Reagan era. Epidemics happening, incarceration. So their communities have just been flooded with negativity in general, and they're trying to clean it up pretty much.
You know them stakes is high. The instamatic focal point bringing damage to your borough. Be some brothers from the east with them beats that be thorough. Got the soul.
Brothers from the east with the beats that be thorough. Look at the way he's rhyming, internal rhyme schemes as well as external rhyme schemes. But he's saying, their beats are really dope, and they need those dope beats to give you the dope lyrics. It all just meshes together to give a quality product, which is what they're giving.
Focal point bringing damage to your borough. Be some brothers from the east with them beats that be thorough. Got the solar gravitation, so I'm bound to pull it.
Got the solar gravitation, so I'm bound to pull it. Like, it's just different the way these niggas spit. I got the solar gravitation, right? So I've got gravitation like the sun. So pulling things in, so I'm bound to pull it. But gravity, bound, also the use of the word bound, like bound by gravity. I'm bound to pull it, talking about guns, but also talking about the microphone, pull the microphone closer, but also I'm pulling the listeners into my orbit or into my field by rapping at a high level, rapping with substance, like a real MC. So I'm bringing the people in, I'm pulling them in, and my energy radiates, my truth radiates like the sun, solar, but I'm bound, as if like I'm restricted, but I'm bound to pull it. So just all the elements there, just very well written.
Some brothers from the east with them beats that be thorough. Got the solar gravitation, so I'm bound to pull it. I gets down like brothers are found, ducking from bullets.
I gets down like brothers are found, ducking from bullets. So I gets down like I gets down on the mic to spit, but also I get down literally because people are shooting off, right? People are shooting bullets, right? Shooting guns in the neighborhoods where I'm from, right? So this is why the stakes are high, because crime is at an all-time high.
Gravitation, so I'm bound to pull it. I gets down like brothers are found, ducking from bullets.
And brothers are found ducking from bullets. So I gets down like brothers are down. Like brothers are down to do shit, down to be violent. But also they get down to dodge the bullets, duck the bullets, but also they literally get down and stay down sometimes when they get hit and they don't survive as well. So just painting the picture of the absurdity of the block and where they're from.
So I'm bound to pull it. I gets down like brothers are found, ducking from bullets. Gun control means using both hands in my land. Yeah.
Gun control using both of my hands in my land. Such an iconic line. When I first heard it, it drew me in, like, whoa, like. But gun control in my land means using both hands. So literal gun control, I can control the gun if I'm using both hands. But gun control as in like government implementing policies around gun control to, create certain restrictions with the use of weapons. But gun control in my land where I'm from means using both hands. So they just take matters into their own hands, which leads to the destruction that we see. So it's actually a major problem.
Found ducking from bullets. Gun control means using both hands in my land, where it's all about the cautious living. Migrating to a higher form of consequence. Compliments a struggling.
Migrating to a higher form of consequence. So we're migrating to a higher form of consequence based on our actions, based on violence, based on the use of guns, right? And people from where he's from, they don't give a fuck about gun control, is what he's saying as well. Like, they'll just take it into their own hands. They're from the streets. They don't care about the laws. People are living lawlessly, right? And even the governments don't really care about cleaning up the communities. When African Americans are systematically hurt by the industries or the governments, if they take away certain aid that they give them, or public housing, or certain things, right? Or they don't give them equal access to certain things. They don't really care about that, and it's destroying the communities. But then the communities are destroying themselves as well. So it's like the industry's happy for the industry to be destroyed. They're indifferent. The government's indifferent. They don't care. And then the people within the community are making it worse because they're stuck under these conditions. They're set up to be stuck under these conditions, and then just more negativity is created because of the conditions that are already existing.
Cautious living, migrating to a higher form of consequence. Compliments a struggling that shouldn't be notable, man.
Compliments struggling shouldn't be notable, right? We shouldn't be glorifying the struggle that we go through in the way that we do. And imagine these communities struggling, right? Poverty, violence happening, drugs, and then the industry glorifying this stuff with gangster rappers, glorifying shooting, glorifying selling drugs, and talking down on women. That just makes it worse. That just makes whatever the situation already is worse. The stakes are high. If we don't course correct, right? You're making it worse. It's increasing gun violence, crime, when street rappers are glorifying it and making it seem cool. So then more people think it's okay to involve themselves in this destruction and negativity, right? So it becomes a cycle.
To a higher form of consequence. Compliments a struggling that shouldn't be notable, man. Every word I say should be a hip-hop quote. I'm sick of bitches shaking asses. I'm sick of talking about blood. Sick of Versace glasses. Sick of slang.
Woo! Rest in peace, Dave, man. Sick of bitches shaking asses. Sick of Versace glasses. Sick of this, sick of that. That's a fact. He's just so straight up direct with it. I'm just sick of this shit. I'm sick of what the industry has become. I'm sick of what rap has become. This is what they witness. They see it in the streets. They hear it on the radio. They're just sick of it. They want to bring the real essence of hip hop back.
I'm sick of bitches shaking asses. I'm sick of talking about blood. Sick of Versace glasses. Sick of slang. Sick of half-ass award shows. Sick of name brand clothes. Sick of R&B bitches over bullshit tracks. Cocaine and cracks, which brings sickness to blacks. Sick of swole head rappers with they sickening raps. Claps and gaps, making the whole sick world collapse. The facts are getting sicker, even sicker perhaps. I stick to push to make a bundle to escape the synapse. Man.
Woo! Escape the synapse, right? Sick of this, sick of that. And pretty much everything that he was saying that he was sick of is what these new rappers do in their music videos. Bitches shaking ass, chains, money, glorifying shooting, crack, drugs. It's literal degeneracy. It's just degenerate behavior. And they're sick of it. And it is a sickness as well. It is sickening for the community, and they're tired or sick of it as well. All of that shit is just vanity and just ignorance and no substance. And when people see that in music videos, when the girls see that in music videos, they're gonna want to start twerking. They're gonna want to start, it inspires people to do negative shit. Now people want to be gangster rappers that aren't even gangster rappers, or just gangsters in the streets. It makes somebody want to pick up a pack or pick up a gun or go to the strip club. Like, this is the energy that comes from today's current music and also the music at this time. It's always been like this. It's always been the true essence of hip hop. And in every industry, there's always the fake shit. There's always fake shit. So they're just trying to address it. Like, are we just going to ignore this shit, or are we going to address the elephant in the room? Because if nobody checks it, then it just grows like a cancer. So they are doing the heavy lifting of putting order back into hip hop. It's really dope.
Getting sicker, even sicker perhaps. I stick a push to make a bundle to escape the synapse. Man, life can get all up in your ass, baby. You better work it out. Now let me tell you what it's all about. A skin not.
Life can get all in your ass. Better work it out, like gym or like working out, physical fitness. Your ass can work on your ass, but you better work out your problems. Otherwise, your problems will grow.
Your ass, baby, you better work it out. Now let me tell you what it's all about. A skin not considered equal. A meteor has more right than my people who be wasting.
Woo! Our skin not considered equal. A meteor has more right than my people. Oh my God. Talking about blacks and their lack of rights, being treated as equal, but also a meteorite, like a meteor has more right than my people, because the word right is in meteorite. So it's a clever way of incorporating that word to make a point.
About a skin not considered equal. A meteor has more right than my people who be wasting time screaming who they've hated. That's why the native tongues has.
And imagine a meteor having more right than human beings. Obviously, that can never be the case. But that's how insane it is. He's painting the picture. Imagine a meteor having more right than human beings. Like, doesn't even make sense.
Has more right than my people who be wasting time screaming who they've hated. That's why the native tongues has officially been reinstated.
Wasting time who they've hated, native tongues being reinstated. I love the way he's rhyming, man. But yeah, the native tongues, the Tribe Called Quest, Jungle Brothers, obviously De La Soul, even like Black Star, Queen Latifah, they're all part of the native tongues, and they all represent collectively conscious hip hop. Conscious hip hop that is just beautiful, that just is of a different vibration to the regular shit, the watered down shit.
Time screaming who they've hated. That's why the native tongues has officially been reinstated. Stakes is high. You know them stakes is high. When we talking about stakes is high. Man, stakes is high.
And I like how they talk about vibrations, because you need your vibration to be high. We don't want the stakes to be high. We want to raise our consciousness or raise our vibration, so we stop participating in this fuckery, because it's costing us at a large scale. Deaths in the hood, funerals, people injured, hospitalized, people's family members on drugs, people in prisons. It's just a mess. It's a complete mess that they're trying to clean up.
Yo, it's about love of cars, love for funds, loving to love mad sex, loving to love guns, love for opposite, love for fame and wealth, love for the fact of no longer loving yourself, kid.
Woo! You love everything except yourself. And this is what they glorify in these music videos, in the industry, and in general in life, but especially talking about the music industry and hip hop. Oh my goodness. Look, how timeless is this message? We talk about everything under the sun and we're focused on everything else other than ourselves and the core essence of what it means to just be alive and be happy and be human and just enjoy music and, you know, kick it with your friends and enjoy their company. That's what the true essence is. In hip hop represents life, you know. You see how these brothers are in the music videos, you know, they have great chemistry. They look like they're real brothers. They are real brothers. Like they're real friends. They're real friends and they grew up together and they have real love for each other. Even that is missing in hip hop. You know, just genuine friends like Wu-Tang Clan, like that type of shit. Solid foundation of real friends. And just being able to vibe and love and speak on truth. Simplicity, right? Just simple and effective like that. That shit, the sacred shit of hip hop and of life has been watered down. That's why I'm even reviewing these types of tracks, because this shit is lost, man. How have we strayed so far from simplicity and nature, peace, and just joy, just basic human things, right? Chasing all this vanity, all this bullshit, just to sink ourselves into a deeper hole anyway. Like, the shit is retarded.
Love for opposite, love for fame and wealth. Love for the fact of no longer loving yourself, kid. We living in them days of the man-made ways where every aspect is vivid. These brothers no longer talk shit. Hey, yo, these niggas live it. About to give it to you 24/7 on the microphone.
These niggas don't just talk shit, they live it. Oh my god. Talking shit is one thing, niggas lying when they talk shit. But living a lie, your whole life is a lie. It's fabricated. Oh my goodness. It's even worse.
Longer talk shit. Hey, yo, these niggas live it. About to give it to you 24/7 on the microphone. Plug one, translating the zone. No offense to a player, but yo, I don't play. And if you take the
No offense to a player, but I don't play. I don't play around with the words that I'm saying. But like basketball player, so I don't play like an NBA player plays. But no offense as well, like offense and defense within basketball, so no offense, but I don't play.
defense, fuck it, got to be that way. JD Dub, show your love, what you got to say? I say Jesus make you niggas at a high regard, and niggas dying for it nowadays ain't hard. Investing in fantasies and not God. Welcome to reality, see times is hard.
Investing in fantasies and not God. Oh my god, all this shit is fantasies. Thinking you can get rich quick and just the ideas that you have in your head of who you are and who you think other people are, and just delusion, fantasy, delusion. The world is full of delusion, man. So much fantasy and so much delusion, and trying to ground it all is the difficulty when we've strayed so far from the truth that it's just so hard. And that's why they're doing the heavy lifting, as I was saying. You have to give them the respect for bringing this shit back. That's not an easy thing to do. You know, when things are getting out of hand, to be the person or the group that says, no, we're going this way while everyone's going that way, going against the grain, but for a good cause. I mean, it's just very respectable.
Investing in fantasies and not God. Welcome to reality, see times is hard. People try to snatch the credit but can't claim the card, showing out in video.
People try to snatch the credit but can't claim the card. Oh my god. Like credit cards, right? But they want the credit for things they haven't even earned.
See times is hard. People try to snatch the credit but can't claim the card, showing out in videos saying they co-starred. See shit like that'll make your mama cry. Better watch the way you spend it cause the stakes is high.
Woo! You know, I think of P. Diddy, but P. Diddy was involved in some of the production, and he did like spit some vocals, but I just think of Diddy all in the videos, because he would have done that too, like always like associating himself with the artists on his label, but really he didn't do as much work as them, or he's not really the artist, right? He's the manager or the executive or whatever, executive producer. But yeah, mad people be in the videos, and because they just want to be next to the person that's doing the work and is the real artist, right? So he's saying he's sick of that. He's sick of people acting like, they want to get, like, just acting like they're involved, taking the credit, right? Taking the credit, but they didn't put no work in, they didn't do nothing. They just want to be associated and get clout. Clout is one of the biggest things these guys hate because they represent truth. So clout and truth are opposite. So niggas chasing clout when you didn't even put in no blood, sweat, and tears, like, the fuck out of here.
See shit like that'll make your mama cry. Better watch the way you spend it, cause the stakes is high. You know them stakes is high when you're dealing with the...
And just look at the difference from music videos in the 90s, like groups like De La Soul and so many other groups, The Roots, Tribe Called Quest. Their music videos are so timeless as well, so beautiful, natural. Just look at what they're doing in the music video, especially this music video. And look at their face expressions. They're happy and they just seem like powerful and happy and free. That's missing in today's time. You don't see that. Everyone's trying to look cool. People are holding guns in their music videos. There always has to be niggas with chains, bitches twerking, bitches with showing their ass. It's always that, and people think they need that to sell records and to be respected and to create good art. That's not good art, bro. Just some cookie cutter shit and copy and pasting a method that works, but it doesn't really work, but it just works for the moment. That's lame. They embody authenticity, and it shows. The difference just shows.
Stakes is high, man, them stakes is high. Check it. I think that smiling in public is against the law. Cause love don't get you through life no more.
Oh my God, I felt like that too. I've said that as well. A lot of the time, you just being happy in public can irritate people. It irritates people's demons. You just being happy and free can really irritate people. That's why he says it feels like it's against the law to smile. Like, what the fuck? How could that be the case?
And how you son and how you getting in and who.
Oh, they say as well, misery loves company. So that's why that makes sense. All the misery, negativity they experience in the hoods, in these areas, and then you just come and start smiling and being happy and shit. Niggas are like, what the fuck? What are you so fucking happy for? What are you smiling for?
Who the man holding heat, yo? And how was the skins and how high? Yo, what up, how? I heard you caught a body. Seem like every man and woman shared a life with John Gotti. But they ain't organized. Mixing crime.
Seems like everybody wants to be John Gotti and carries that life, but they ain't organized like organized crime, right? But that's really dope writing as well. But they ain't organized as in they're not even organized in their thoughts. They're not even mentally there together. They think they're John Gotti. They're living a fake lifestyle, fake persona. Everybody wants to be John Gotti. A lot of people want to be that in their raps. And when everyone's trying to do that, it just waters it down and it's just all bullshit. And it doesn't just stay in the music, as they're saying, it spills out into the streets. And that's where people's lives are affected by this. Their communities are affected by this. That's why they're trying to bring it back and just clear this shit up and just establish what real hip hop is again. And just, set the bar again.
You caught a body, seem like every man and woman shared a life with John Gotti. But they ain't organized. Mixing crimes with life enzymes, taking the big scout route, and niggas know.
Mixing crimes with life's enzymes. Ugh. So like mixing crime with enzymes, proteins, DNA. So like they want to identify street violence with being black when that isn't the case. Anyone can be violent, or anyone has the capability to be that way. But, the conditions are what they are. And yeah, black people are committing a lot of the crimes, but there's deeper reasons as to why that is as well. It's not so simple.
But they ain't organized. Mixing crimes with life enzymes, taking the big scout route, and niggas no doubt better than they know they daughters and they son. Yo, people go through pain and still don't gain, better than they mixing crimes with life enzymes, taking the big scout route, and niggas no doubt, better than they know they daughters and they son.
Niggas no doubt better than they know their daughters and sons, right? Doubt 100% would be at a very high level in the hood in these areas, but in general as well. But they doubt themselves, they doubt their intuition, they don't trust themselves, they don't love themselves. They doubt their intuition. That's why they pick up a pack and they follow what they see on the media and in the industry and around them. They just listen to that and doubt themselves because they don't trust themselves. And that creates a cycle of negativity and just not powerful men and powerful women. Powerful people that know themselves and know how to move and just know how to be like proper citizens or just proper strong people that can actually work together and build something really good.
Yo, people go through pain and still don't gain positive contact. Just like my main man who got others cleaning up his physical influence. His mind got congested, he got the non-influent neighborhoods.
Speaking about one of his close friends that committed suicide, he got the 9 and blew it, as in he blew his whole situation, but literally blew it, but he just blew everything because he ruined it by ruining himself. And he said that people don't gain from pain, so they don't sit with their pain and learn how to alchemize that pain and free themselves from that pain. They don't learn from it. They run away from the pain. They might start doing drugs or alcohol or start committing crimes or might kill themselves. Very unfortunate. But that is the result of this negativity. This is very infectious, and not having knowledge of self to know how to deal with one's depression or one's anxieties or fears.
Cleaning up his physical influence. His mind got congested. It's like my main man who got others cleaning up his physical influence.
Cleaning up his physical and fluids, like that's just a crazy picture that he paints. You know, once you kill yourself, the physical fluids that come from that.
His mind got congested. He got the non-influent neighborhoods are now hoods, cause nobody's neighbors, just animals.
Neighborhoods are now hoods because nobody's neighbors. Very dope, right? Nobody's neighbors, nobody's friends. They're just hoods because we don't care about each other, right? I love the way you put it together.
Got congested. He got the non-influent neighborhoods are now hoods, cause nobody's neighbors, just animals surviving with that animal behavior.
Just animals surviving with animal behavior. Dope, right? They are literally in their animalistic nature, in their lower nature, in their ego, in other words, because that's what they're doing. That's what is represented on these streets, and it's destroying everything.
The eye will be rhyming from dark to light sky. Experiments with needles and skin connect. No wonder where we live is called the projects. When the mistakes is high, you damn sure try to do anything to get the piece of the pie.
Woo. Needle to skin. No wonder they call it the projects. Oh my god, that's insane as well. Like taking drugs. They take drugs, they sell drugs in the projects, but literally like a science project, you know, like when they administer drugs to rats and it's an experiment, like they'll put all these rats in a certain area and give them maybe cocaine or dopamine or, you know, a certain drug, and then watch their behavior and undertake controlled experiments. But he's saying no wonder it's called the projects, because the project or the ghettos that they're from, the streets, is a science experiment itself. Like, you know, if you research into the CIA, governments, and how, you know, like Reaganomics, how they destabilize the economies of these areas, and, you know, a lot of companies left these ghetto urban areas because of the conditions, what the government was doing. So a lot of jobs, a lot of people lost a lot of jobs. They couldn't find employment. And so people started selling crack, right? And, that Reagan era, people started selling crack out of desperation. And then Reaganomics, the Reagan administration, they capitalized off their misery and off their desperation. So they started pumping in more drugs infiltrated and filled these areas. And so they started selling, there became more dealers and more people that are hooked on drugs as fiends, but also more dealers selling the drugs. And so negativity, violence, drugs, all of it was just it was just going higher and higher and higher. And then what do? They create laws that say that possession of a small amount of crack is the same as uh, having possession of large quantities of crack, like the amount that would be considered distribution for distribution. How could the penalty be the same for somebody having like such a small amount versus kilos of coke? That is setting these people up to go to prison. So then a lot of people started going to prison, and the prison industry was benefiting from this. They were making a lot of money as people were building prisons, private prisons, and a lot of people were flooding the prisons. A lot of, especially black people, were getting locked up because there's so much crack, everyone's a dealer, and everyone's just getting, you know, uh, locked up because of the new rules. So this is literally a social experiment. Like, they're putting you here, they bring the crack, they give the crack just like rats in an experiment, give you the drugs, and then watch what happens and then say, oh, look how crazy these guys are. But really, they set them up in these conditions. It's a lot more nuanced and a lot more complex than just, oh, look at these black people killing each other, they're savages, they're idiots. Like, no, it's a result of the conditions and other factors that are taking place, and the government doesn't give a shit. It's not, and this is the thing about the government and CIA. The government and CIA aren't inherently racist to black people or any people. They're not racist. I mean, they could be racist individuals. I mean, obviously, heaps of people are racist. But I'm saying systematically, as the government, as the CIA, they're all about money and power and control. They don't give a fuck about your race or anything. So them not caring about the communities is just because they don't care. It's not because of like race, like these billionaires and all that. They are so far removed. They just don't care about you because, like, who cares about you guys? Who cares about your community? I don't give a shit. But that's still equally as bad. It's very cold and very heartless. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Crazy, crazy times.
Stakes is high. You damn sure try to do anything to get the piece of the pie. Electrify, even die for the cash, but at last we be out, even though you're wanting more. This issue was closed like an elevator door, but soon we open once we get to the next floor.
Situation is closed like an elevator door, but it opens up when we get to the next floor. So maybe when we die, like going to heaven, the next dimension of life, this isn't it, but everyone's acting like this is it, and we're killing each other and destroying each other for nothing, literally for nothing.
This issue was closed like an elevator door, but soon we open once we get to the next floor.
Or we open up once we raise our consciousness as well, when we will get to the next floor of being, when we open our consciousness, because now we're closed-minded, we're ignorant, we don't give a fuck, and we need to literally uplift our spirits and bring that real message back to do that.
Stakes is high. You know them stakes is high. We're dealing with the stakes is high. Stakes is high. Come on.
Yeah, really dope track. And just going off what I was saying before, it's really annoying when, politicians or, people behind government talk about, you know, Africans are savages and all that, and create this propaganda when they are way more savage. They are the real savages because they don't give a fuck about human life, the human soul. They just care about money, control, power, and the things that they do behind closed doors. The CIA, certain individuals in government. If only we could see the things that they get up to. It just never, we never know about it because it's all in secret. But the things they're willing to do, the people they're willing to manipulate, the extremes that the governments have gone to and are still willing to go to get what they want, how many people they're willing to kill, communities they're willing to destroy. I'm speaking in general now, but the government is like a gang as well, and they get what they want, and they will do whatever it takes, especially if they feel threatened or, you know, they feel like their back's against the wall. They will do anything because that's what they did do with the whole Reaganomics and the Reagan era with you know, Cuba and you know, giving rebel groups arms to take down, you know, communist parties in, you know, and just all of it's just all interconnected, right? I don't know everything about it, but intuitively, just from what I do know, I just know how dirty these governments are, and it's just so annoying for you to be that dirty, right? And then to point your finger and call just the average person living in the streets trying to make a living dirty when you've set them up. Because who's bringing the crack? Who's bringing that shit in? You know, who's bringing it on the boats? Who's bringing it on the planes? The CIA, for a long time, they put a blind eye to all the shipments of crack coke into America, and they told like the DEA and certain people to stand down and to not check certain shipments that went through, right? Because they're getting away with smuggling that stuff in. So who's smuggling it in? You know what I mean? These are the bigger questions, right? To get to the root of the problems. So really dope track, and it's a timeless track, and it's always the same timeless message, which is love and truth versus fear, greed, and hate. That's always the spiritual battle on this planet. It's just always that. Love versus fear, God versus the devil, and the people that represent either side of that energy, you know. So shout out De La Soul. That'll be the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if I've missed anything, because I know I've missed heaps of shit as well. But let me know if you want me to react to more De La Soul or another artist. And with that being said, peace out, salute, and I'll see you in the next video.